So I got a question asking me, what is the minimum KungFu in Wing Chun Kuen one need to develop? I think this is a very interesting question, and today I'd like to share with you my view on this. Okay, and first of all, the reason I chose this room to share with you, because KungFu is not something mysterious or philosophical or religious or like in the movie. KungFu is something which is you live with it every day. Okay. So let's start with the term Dao or Tao in Chinese. Okay. Tao is like the law of physics. So law of physics is law of physics, right? Say if we have a cell phone, even if we know the law of physics, but if we do not know or we do not have the technology, there's no way we can have build a cell phone. Okay. So technology in Chinese is called Su. Okay. So you have Tao, you need a Su. It's like you know law of physics, you know you need to have the technology in order to build the cell phone. KungFu is actually developed by the technology or the Su. So Tao can be philosophical and so forth, but Su or technology has to be really specific. Only via the specific one can develop the skill. Okay. So why is this important? Okay. What I'm going to tell in the following is what I observe from the ancients. Okay. Now, we know in the Wing Chun KungFu, there's 4 types of KungFu in the minimum. One is be able to breathe. The second is be able to manage the force flow in the body. The third is be able to manage momentum via body motions or techniques. The fourth is be able to manage momentum via force flow handling. So this 4 key is very important key for Wing Chun Kuen as for the minimum. Okay, so why is it important? First, one need to be able to breathe properly. If one doesn't breathe properly, well, one can't even breathe, can't even operate properly. The body can't even operate properly. So in the ancient China, one need to develop the lower abs breathing, because only then you can increase the volume of the breathing or the body energy and provide massage of the internal organ, which is strengthen the body. Okay. See, KungFu is not sport like the Western sport. It's not like you do the cardio, try to stress it, to train it that way. No, KungFu actually, in Chinese martial art, KungFu actually is strengthening the body, increasing the energy intake. Okay, so there are different stuff. So this breathing is very important. And often we heard about people say, well, can his KungFu work under pressure? Well, the first thing under pressure is breathing. If you cannot breathe, you cannot handle pressure. Okay? So breathing in the Chinese we have to we say that it is the qi lu, the breathing pathway, that has to be handled or developed. Okay, without that KungFu, that transformations, the body just doesn't function properly. So the second one is the handle of the Jinglu, or the force flow part in the body. This is very important for martial arts because we're dealing with force and need to deal with how the force is handling within the body, how it coupled to the ground, so forth. Without that type of KungFu, it's actually really hopeless because it will default to muscular, and the one who is strong and young and fast will for sure defeat the one which is weak and slower. So in order to be able to play, at least playing with the stronger and the faster in physical, one need to be able to handle or to manage the force flow in the body, or have KungFu in this handling. Okay, so this is very important. The breathing and the force flow handling in the body. Without this, it is really hopeless. We can go and test it out with under pressure and so forth. It will not work because we really don't know how to handle this thing. This is basic, really basic stuff. Now, the third one is the techniques, which is handling momentum. Like in the Wing Chun, we talk about Pak Da, Tan Da, Lap Da, and then grappling in what do you call it, Chin Na stuff, and different techniques. Those are techniques for handling the body momentum. Okay, for different purpose. That too has to be known. If that is not known, then one just don't have the techniques to handle the situations. And technique come with different scenarios, like when in the for example, in the fist range scenario, in the close body scenario, so forth. Okay. So there's a third one that need to be developed, the KungFu of techniques of different handling of different scenarios need to be developed. The fourth is the handling of the using the force flow to manage the momentum. So using techniques to manage momentum is like you need some body motions, bigger body motions to handle the momentum or generate the momentum. And using force flow to handle momentum is actually handling the momentum without big motions, or in a very small this physical motion, one can handle the momentum. So you can think about it, the motion handling of using technique to handling momentum as a large scale, more this limb or body motion type of handling, and while the force flow type of handling momentum is the microscopic way, or without moving that much. So in the Wing Chun, we refer this as using the short jing or inch power type. So for me, in my understanding, this four key: the breathing, be able to breathe, be able to handle the force flow, be able to handle momentum with the techniques, be able to handle the momentum via the force flow. This four is the core must have elements or must have KungFu in order to satisfy, be able to have a self-defense or strengthen the body. As we know that the breathing will massage the internal organ and promote circulations and strengthen the body. As we know that we need to know how to handle momentum with the techniques and with the force flow, so that we can really do some self-defense practice or applications. So this four is very important. Without this four, in my opinion, it is incomplete. Okay, if you look at the ancient Chinese, they will say strengthen the body and self-defense. Martial art is for strengthen the body and self-defense. And based on these four core elements, that can be realized. Okay, so it's not a dream, not a fantasy, but it's real. And actually, one other thing which is usually people don't talk about, which is extremely important. This is something one need to develop. KungFu need to develop too. And that is be able to stay in awareness without get caught up with the emotions and thoughts or tunnel vision and so forth. That is very important, and especially when handle pressure and stress and so forth. So how did the ancients do it? Well, they do it by recitations of the Buddha names or mantra. So how they do it? They just whisper without making noise. Whisper, say Amitabha Buddha, Amitofo, Amitofo, Amitofo. And every exhale, they say Amitofo, Amitofo. While they whisper it without making noise, they listen with your ear. So they say, recite with their heart, recite with their mouth, and then listen it to with the ear. That way they keep themselves aware. So whatever disregard, whatever condition outside, they always are aware, and they do not get trapped or attached to the outside conditions. There's a practice which is every seconds in the living in the day, they do that. So the body, the mind is in a stability, in a stable state, and it is keeping aware. Okay, and stable, still aware. This is what in Buddhism they call samadhi. So it be able to handle the mind without the mind going off somewhere or get distracted or absent-minded. Okay, so this is the mind KungFu. Okay, of course the guy who have a very good KungFu in mind, you can have a drum and everything and emotional stuff around, and they just stay really calm because their mind do not get distracted or get caught up into something. So for the questions of what is the minimum KungFu on Wing Chun, for me, in my humble opinion, the KungFu of breathing, the KungFu of forceful handling, the KungFu of handle momentum with techniques, different type of techniques, the KungFu of handling momentum using force flow, the KungFu of handling of mind. I think these 5 things has to be intact. Without this, one really doesn't have much. And this is based on the ancient Chinese martial art traditions.